Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 19th of June, 2021. Do hope you are enjoying your weekend. So, the newest version of the better sine wave indicators is out. We've added an overbought, oversold indicator, and I'm getting some questions, so I thought I'd address those in this relatively short little video. So, the first thing is to say, yes, the indicator is now available as part of the indicator suite, the MTF suite of indicators. We've called it MTF Better System OBOS, OBOS for Overbought Oversold. And we've done this as a soft launch. What I find is when I put out indicator updates and releases, just best to let the people know that it's out there, and the most anxious subscribers who want to go get it quickly kind of go do that, and I can troubleshoot any problems. Then as soon as all of those troubleshoot problems are fixed, send out a blast email to all the subscribers saying go get it now. So I think it's looking pretty good. We'll probably put out that blast email in the next day or two, but it is available for subscribers, so go check it out. Number two question, just to say, a couple of people had some download problems. For whatever reason, the latest version of the indicators was not showing up for them, and that appears to be a problem with old versions of the download being stuck in their browser cache. So flush your caches or just use an incognito tab to get the latest version of the download. So, last question, and this is the most interesting one. This is from Mike. In your quad witching video, which is the one put out on Friday, you use the term overbought and oversold. I don't get these terms in the context of your indicators. Can you explain, please? Mike, excellent question. So let me explain. Here is the typical setup of a better sine wave. And for whatever reason, I've done this as a 5,000 tip bar chart. I don't want that. I want a 500 tip bar chart. So this is the normal view that I've been showing for years and years on the indicators with better sine wave on the right hand side and everything to do with price. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first of all switch off the plate of spaghetti at the bottom of the page there, and we're also going to switch off the other indicators here. We're going to switch off Pro-Am. We're going to switch off the combo. We're going to switch off momentum. And there we go. That's kind of the cleanest view. So what you've got here is better sine wave essentially on these bars where we've got the support and resistance lines being plotted in 3 different time frames. The base time frame, 500 tick, 3 times that, which would be 1500 tick, and 9 times that, which is 4500 tick, each a factor of 3 above. So that's kind of the normal view of better sine wave. Now, this is the view of that same indicator suite. Let me just adjust this. So this is 8. Let's do that. There we go. Oops. There we go. We can... what have I got? 110, bar spacing, 1, there we go, 5 there. So we can go between these two charts and they directly kind of overlay. So the new overbought oversold indicator goes through 12 different time frames. So rather than 3 different time frames, 3 above each other, 1, 3, and 9, we go through 1, 2, 12. And that's because we've got some pretty fast computers now. We can loop through 12 different time frames pretty quickly. So that's what is going on. Now, just as an illustration, what I've shown you here is what those different support and resistance lines look like in 12 different time frames. So you can see here we have a cluster of support, cluster of resistance, particularly over here. Let me just show you that. So on this indicator, you can see there is SR1 to SR12, each of the support and resistance lines in 12 different time frames. All of those are resistance lines from 2 to 12. There's only one support line on the lowest time frame, and you often get that because the lowest time frame is flicking backwards and forwards. Now, you won't see these support and resistance lines. I've just plotted these on for to show exactly what is actually going on. But you'll see a lot of those numbers are very similar. We've got 74.25, 74.75, repeated a bunch of times, 72.75, and so on. So just because you're going through 12 different time frames doesn't mean you'll get 12 different levels for support or resistance. They often are kind of superimposed on each other because these are really important levels, kind of up here, for example, that's been found out as a resistance level in a whole bunch of time frames to be a significant resistance line. So it's 12 different time frames, but it doesn't mean 12 different levels. It could be just 5 or 6 levels. So, and then the indicator says, well, when 11 out of those 12 support or resistance lines are going in one particular direction, I know the market is overbought or oversold. So, for example, down here, the market is oversold because when we look at those time frames, each of those time frames, it's taking a while to plot up. There we go. 12 of those time frames are showing supports kind of down there. So at these points here, we're oversold. At this point up here, we know that 11 out of those 12 are showing resistance levels. So we're overbought in that direction. So overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, and so on. And so that is what's going on. That's how you can use support and resistance levels to give you overbought and oversold in an indicator. Now, what I'm going to do is just switch this off because that's the loop that I'm just using to show you what those levels are. That is what the overbought and oversold indicator will look like on your charts. Now, in a later video, I'll explain how the system side of this, where we're looking at better pro-am, better momentum, and these overbought and oversold levels kind of come together. But I just thought in this video I'd explain that one particular point question from Mike about how can you use support and resistance to show you overbought and oversold. And it's when you have a confluence of everything is showing resistance levels or everything is showing support levels. That is the definition of overbought and oversold. So there it is on a 500 tip bar chart. We'll just cycle through on the 1500 tip bar chart. That is overbought. A whole bunch of resistance lines kind of come in. Yes, this one kind of stair steps down a little bit. A whole bunch of oversold at these levels because we've got lots of supports kind of coming in. And then finally we get a kind of resolution of that on the 1500 tip bar chart. 4500, this is overbought. That is overbought. That is oversold. That is overbought. That is oversold. That is oversold, and so on. And you can see how these things kind of come together. But we're not going to clutter up the charts with 12 different support and resistance lines. That is crazy. I'm always trying to get my charts as clean as possible with the maximum amount of information on them. So there we go. I hope that explains what we're doing, Mike, and everybody else who kind of has questions. And yeah, that's it for today. Might do a video tomorrow on Bitcoin because Bitcoin on Sunday is always interesting. Everything else is shut, but you know, sometimes we can have some interesting kind of plays in the Bitcoin market on Sunday.